Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. The Racing Minister has staunchly defended the industry's regulators against allegations of mishandling complaints. It comes with the findings of a welfare and integrity probe just weeks away from being handed down.
With explosive allegations of race fixing and animal cruelty aired in recent months, the Racing Portfolio Estimates was a chance for answers.
How can it be that this is regarded as good animal welfare when you've got horses, beautiful horses, wandering around en masse in the dust or the mud and eating their own faeces?
Racing integrity bodies confident they've policed properly as they await the results of an independent review into complaints handling. Also firm that a whistleblower who spoke up wasn't punished.
The response from the Office of Racing Integrity was to redeploy her from harness racing and therefore limiting her employment options.
Management of conflict of interest is a foundational principle for all public officers, but especially people in roles that have an integrity function such as stewards.
Death rates under the microscope too. Since July last year, 22 greyhounds have been euthanased, down from the year before. 37 horses were euthanased across thoroughbred and harness codes, with another 12.
Retired to the abattoir.
Retired to the abattoir, that's a nice way of putting it, Mr Jacoby.
No.
There is no nice way of putting it.
No, it is what it is.
The price tag on a new Northwest greyhound and harness racing track has jumped to at least $40 million, leaving a cost shortfall.
Our government did make an election commitment of $8 million and Tas Racing has come to the party with $10 million.
Today's hearings wrap up 4 days of budget estimates. The budget is expected to pass Parliament when MPs next sit in a fortnight. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Felix Ellis continues to defend his controversial fire service reform despite criticism from former industry leaders. Only weeks before resigning, former Chief Fire Officer Dermot Barry told the Minister he did not support the changes, concerned it transfers power to the Police Commissioner.
Was Mr Barry basically told that pressure would be put on him until he left?
As I mentioned, I'm not going to go into personal employment matters.
The Minister couldn't guarantee all money raised through the new Fire and Emergency Service Levy would be under the control of the new department. Police say they hold concerns for the welfare for a Penguin woman who has now been missing for more than a week. Erin Hodge was last seen on May 31 and it's believed she may be in the Launceston area. The 39-year-old is described as 165 centimetres tall with a medium build and blonde hair. Anyone who may have information on her whereabouts is urged to contact police. Tasmania has recorded its third meningococcal case of the year. A man in his 50s from the northwest was diagnosed with the disease earlier this week and is currently undergoing treatment in hospital. The latest detection prompting a timely reminder to stay up to date with vaccinations and monitor for symptoms. Taste buds are tingling tonight as Winterfeast opens its doors as part of Dark Mofo's 10th anniversary. A record number of stall holders will pack the area, including a collaboration between a New Norfolk restaurant and one of the world's most revered chefs.
It's no secret we love our lamb, and the Agrarian Kitchen will be serving it in spades. Their stall at Winterfeast is ready to serve and unlock a few secrets.
People will be able to sit around, watch us cooking, see their dishes being plated, and maybe if we're free, be able to have even a little bit of a chat.
The popular eatery this year has a Slovenian twist. Michelin-rated chef Anna Ross is teaming up with the kitchen to bring a taste of Eastern Europe to Hobart.
It was actually very easy to realise it because you have walnuts, we have walnuts. We have raisins, you have raisins.
Long nights over Zoom, helping bring the country's green and self-sufficient culture to life.
We are used to eat what we produce. I would say pretty healthy, very green food, and especially foraging is strong in our blood.
The stall, one of 90, marking the 10th anniversary of Winterfeast. From the Migrant Resource Centre to our state's whisky industry, organisers say they're helping celebrate a tradition that goes back centuries.
Gathering around food, particularly during the middle of winter, to welcome in the return of the sun after the solstice.
Despite rising costs, organisers are confident the balance has been struck between profits and affordability.
Worked really hard to keep those prices as fair as possible so that this is still an event that can be enjoyed by everyone.
Once considered an oddity, the Lord Mayor says the feast has changed how Tasmanians and thousands of visitors view our state.
They actually get out more during winter often than many other times of year because there are really interesting things here.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
And John joins us now. He's outside Winterfeast. Now, John, there's a few of us here that are jealous. How's it all going?
Oh, Kim, it's a feast for the senses here at the moment as the crowds start to gather for what is one of Dark Mofo's most popular events. Gates opened at 4 o'clock with a steady stream of people starting to line up and grab a bite to eat. Tens of thousands of people are expected to pass through over the 8 days the venue is opened. As you heard just before, there's 90 different places to choose from, with Tassie produce front and centre. Organisers say there's plenty of work that goes into getting that balance right.
To juggle creating the perfect mix of stallholders and hopefully creating a wonderful experience for everyone who attends.
For those interested, Kim, the feast will be open from Thursday through till Sunday over the next 2 weekends from 4 p.m. I'm off inside now to have a look around and get a spot of dinner. Shouldn't be too hard to find something nice.
Oh, no doubt at all. Enjoy your evening, John. Thank you very much. There has been a sharp spike in the number of Tasmanian children being charged with crimes. In 2021, 4 charges were laid against 10 and 11-year-olds. In 2022, that number rose to 138, with the Police Minister defending his tough-on-crime approach, saying the pandemic pushed those numbers down.
COVID has had a significant impact on our community's ability to move around, and that has had meant a major reduction in terms of crime.
It's our obligation to ensure that people can walk around their communities and enjoy their lifestyles without that fear.
The state government's Youth Justice Blueprint aims to divert children and young people away from the justice system. Small business owners in Tasmania who supply to some of the nation's biggest companies are set to benefit from better cash flow through the improvement of payment times. The federal government is undertaking an independent review to ensure suppliers can stay afloat. Woolworths is among the organisations which has already committed to a number of measures to pay its small suppliers on time.
Having more money available quickly, so your cost of goods, you can pay your suppliers quicker, and yeah, basically it just runs a whole smoother operation of the business.
We want to wait and see what the recommendations say. What we know is that it really matters to small businesses that they're paid within that 30 days or less.
The review is set to be completed at the end of this month and will include public consultation. Rex Airlines is set to touch down in Hobart for the first time, announcing a new daily service to Melbourne. It's a move welcomed by operators right across the state, with Launceston waiting in the wings.
A new competitor taxiing and ready for takeoff. Rex Airlines preparing for Wheels Up, adding its first connection between the state's capital and Melbourne.
Tasmania is experiencing a real tourism boom, and we thought we wanted to be part of that.
The inaugural flight will touch down at Hobart Airport on August 17, promising to shake up the afternoon schedule.
It'll also bring much lower prices for people travelling into Tasmania, and those lower prices will inevitably lead to more people, more tourism.
It's great because it brings more choice and competition, not only for people coming to Tasmania from the mainland, but also for Tasmanians heading to the mainland.
Rex's Tasmanian history dates back over 40 years, and with more seats just around the corner, the expansion is being hailed as another boost for the tourism sector.
A fantastic sign of confidence in our Tasmanian economy. Victoria is our largest visitor market, and it's terrific that we've got the opportunity of bringing more competition.
The prospect of future growth, something Launceston Airport firmly has its eyes on, ready to welcome flights to its growing terminal.
We would anticipate that Launceston will be well and truly in the sights of Rex moving forward. I think it's going to be a really good year for the growth of Launceston Airport.
And growing options for those going sky high. Victoria Easto, 7 Tasmania News.
A lion-hearted Tasmanian is about to burn his way through his 100th marathon, reaching a checkpoint of a very personal journey. Michael Booth has spent more than a decade running in memory of his daughter Alison and encouraging others to sign up as organ donors.
Nearly every day before dawn, Riverside's running man is carving a path, but he's never alone in what would seem a solitary pursuit.
If it's a clear morning, the Southern Cross is out, lovely and bright, and Alison's star is in the Southern Cross.
Michael's daughter Alison died of a brain aneurysm in 2011. Her legacy was donating her organs to those in need, something Michael encourages others to do whenever he signs up for another 42-kilometre test.
What is the point of burying organs that are in perfect working order?
He's already spread that message across all 7 continents, including Antarctica, which he considers the toughest of them all. In August, he'll hang his hat on his 100th marathon on the Sunshine Coast, where he'll once again run in his daughter's memory.
Sometimes I have a bit of a weep and a smile and then get on with my run.
Such is the impact of organ donation, Michael was even stopped once mid-marathon by a couple which noticed his Donate Life t-shirt just so they could show their appreciation.
Their story was that they were recipients, and so we stopped in the middle of the marathon, in the middle of the Great Ocean Road, had a great chat, had a cry, had a laugh.
Michael isn't putting a limit on how many marathons he'll run. So long as he's spreading the message so close to his heart, he'll never stop.
The more people who are registered, the more lives that we can enrich.
Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian students living with disability are gaining real-life experience behind the register of their very own supermarket. In a joint venture with the national grocery giant, Southern Support School is now open for business.
Decked out in uniform and ready to serve customers, this run to the shops was one worth celebrating. A shrunken supermarket finding its new home at the Southern Support School. The mini Woolies operation is providing a space for learning opportunities beyond the classroom.
Building the independence of our children and building those everyday life skills, it's really beautiful to see.
The shelves are fully stacked with real items and come at a cost.
It's $5.
Replicating the authentic experience is at the core of the national initiative.
The communication skills, the numeracy, the literacy, and just the skills that the students can actually learn and build to grow for their future.
Bringing the idea to Tasmania for the first time after success on the mainland, Launceston's Northern Support School is also benefiting from the rollout.
The stories that we hear from the schools that have a mini Woolies in there, the growth and the development of the students is just absolutely incredible.
In what was an excitement-fuelled morning for the new recruits at the register.
We can do a lot of great work with our students on maths, literacy, but to be able to put that into a real-world application and do that ready for the world beyond school is super important for us young people and provides a very rich, authentic experience in which to do that.
Checking out with a smile, there's no doubt this friendly service will have shoppers back in no time. Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
Lauderdale will be high on emotion again this weekend after farewelling life member Dion Mead. The Southern Bombers came from 26 points down to beat North Hobart. This week they'll face Clarence. Training has been optional for players who are coming to terms with Dion's passing.
I'm just letting them feel what they feel at the moment. So if they're down, they're flat, they don't want to come in, they don't want to be on the track, it is what it is. So I'm just giving them the licence to, feel their feelings.
The round begins tomorrow night with a Northern Derby under lights where Launceston will be considered the underdog for a change.
I started in 2015, so I've only had success the last 3 years, so it's nothing different to me going into underdog, so I think it's better for us as the pressure's on them.
And Mitch Thorpe's been named again. The best women's players in regional leagues won't have a weekend off either. Jen Guy is back playing for the NTFA in this weekend's All-Star Series, which begins against the SFL, after being sidelined through an ACL injury last year. She put the time off to good use.
It's given me sort of a chance to reflect and see things that I can improve on, get fitter, get stronger.
Hillwood's Taylor Leonard is representing the league in the under-20s.
At training last night, there was a bit of nerves, but very excited to see what we can bring to the south.
The SFL will host the match at North Hobart Oval on Monday. And former Test captain Tim Payne is back in the Cricket Australia fold. He's been named part-time coach of the National Under-19 and Australia A teams. The lure of a championship is what's kept Milton Doyle at the Jack Jumpers. His 2-year deal was today made official. The highly sought-after shooting guard is eager to return to the court, while his family is thrilled to be in Tasmania's embrace once again.
I think it's better for me to be comfortable in a great environment around great people. It makes the work on the court much easier.
Milton coming for 2 years really gives us some stability and something, a big piece to build around.
The team now has its eyes on other key signings, finalising the list ahead of pre-season in early August. And 3 Tasmanians are warming up for the next batch of Pro League games against the Netherlands and Belgium. Kookaburra's Eddie Ockenden and Josh Belts, plus the Hockeyroos' Madison Brooks, all had a practice hit out against Ireland before taking on the powerhouses of the sport.
Very important for us to play well against these teams. They'll be challenging. We want to see how much we've grown since the World Cup.
The Hockeyroos are the top-ranked team in the Pro League. The Kookaburras are 4th.
Good evening. Launceston 16 today, Hobart 15, Burnie also 15, similar conditions, and 15 for Devonport. Maximum temperatures were recorded in most parts of the state, 15 for the islands, Smithton, Lowhead, Friendly Beaches, St Helens and Maria Island, 14 for Grove, 13 for Bushy Park and Strawn, and 9 degrees for Lyoweening. Mid to high level cloud is moving slowly off the east coast. Patchy low level cloud moves over the state from the northwest. The satellite shows a mid to high level cloud band extending from the northeast New South Wales along the coast to the east coast of Tasmania. Otherwise, the remainder of the country is mostly cloud-free. Tomorrow, a high passes the south and western Australian border. A cold front approaches the east coast of the state. West to northwesterly, 25 to 35 knots, although 20 to 30 knots in the southeast and lower east. The west and south can expect west to northwesterly with 4 to 5 metres. As you can see, a gale warning is in place for the majority of the state. There is also a strong wind warning for the Channel, Central Plateau Lakes, Southwest Lakes, Lower East and South Coast. A minor flood warning exists for the North Esk River. There's also a sheep graziers warning on King Island, and finally a bushwalkers weather alert is in place for Western and Central Plateau districts. Tomorrow, a shower or 2 is forecast for Hobart and Campania, Huonville, and showers with 13. Showers easing in Launceston and in Devonport, showers and 12 for Georgetown. 11's the top for Burnie, similar conditions in Strawn, Wynyard, showers and 12. And finally to the east coast, a shower or 2 for St Helens and possible shower for Port Arthur and Swansea, 14 degrees. Looking ahead, showers about the west and south on Saturday with possible hail in the west and far south. Sunday, showers about the north and west, mostly fine elsewhere. Monday's forecast, showers again to the north and west, mainly fine elsewhere. And taking a look at our capital cities tomorrow, Perth, showers at 18, Brisbane, sunny 25, showers easing for Melbourne, shorts and t-shirt weather once again in Darwin.
Thank you very much, Karen. That is all your news for now. Good night, everyone.